Hey everyone, and welcome to Ideanthro. Now I imagine that if you're watching this, you're wondering what exactly this Ideanthro thing's all about. Well look, if you let me, I'll take a moment and I'll explain it to you. And to do that, I'm going to tell you a couple of stories. So my name's Jack Mullally, and I've spent the past 6 years or so working, broadly speaking, in an industry called water sensitive urban design here in Brisbane, in Australia. And I've come in recent times to recognise just how fortunate I've been with a few things. So this is the first story. So I fell into this industry of water sensitive urban design, as I say, 6 years ago. I was finishing up uni, I had to do my final year uni project, and I was looking around for places to do it, and I happened upon an opportunity with Logan City Council. Now that's the council immediately to the south of Brisbane. And I had this opportunity, and it was a project to do with water sensitive urban design, helping the council with their processes and procedures and figuring out where all their stormwater treatment assets were and this sort of thing. And I fell into that role, and there were some really great people there, a whole bunch of people. I'm not going to go and name names purely for the sake of fear of forgetting and leaving people out, but there are a whole bunch of really good people there. And they gave me the support that I needed and the encouragement, but also the freedom to, you know, deliver on projects, to try stuff, to grow and to learn in this field. But they also introduced me to a whole bunch of other people in this field. People who were, you know, more experienced than me, really good thinkers, lots of really good ideas. And that just opened my mind up to the possibilities and gave me this real kickstart in my career to get things going. And I'm really conscious that not everyone gets that, right? I was, you know, it's not entirely, don't get me wrong, it's not entirely just good fortune, right? That I've had a career so far that I've been really, really happy with and feel that has done some good. But I'm really conscious that not every graduate gets that. Oftentimes you come out and you end up in a much more mundane job with less personal responsibility, with less freedom to explore and to learn, and less contact with really good thinkers who are free to share their time with you. And I think that's a problem, because I wonder just how, you know, I feel that I've so far been able to make a reasonable contribution to this industry, and I wonder how many other young people there are out there who would love to be doing the same, but just haven't quite had that connection with, you know, with good ideas and good thinking to be able to, you know, light that spark in themselves and get going. So I became aware of that. But then something else happened, and initially this will seem really unrelated, right? So I had, for years, been competing in a sport called bike trials, and yeah, pretending to be a, you know, semi-serious athlete, training hard, and I'd developed injuries over time, but I had this mentality of, well, no, you know what, I'm giving this my all for the next, whatever it is, 5 years. It seems to keep stretching out, right? If you'd asked me like 6 or 7 years ago if you thought I'd still be trying to ride seriously, which I am, right? That's my bike behind me because I'm out here training. But if you'd asked me 6 or 7 years ago if I'd be still doing this, I probably would have said no, because I always just had this mentality of like, a few more years, I'm going to push through, the injuries don't matter, you're trying to be the best that you can, and when you stop training, those injuries are going to settle down because they're there because you're pushing yourself so hard. And something happened that made me, not because I wanted to stop riding, it made me take some time off and stop training and this sort of thing. And something struck me at that moment. The injuries, and the back injury in particular that I was carrying, got worse. And it blew my mind. I was just like, oh my God, I've been able to put up with this, you know, really quite bad pain for ages because I just assumed that it would end once, you know, my obsession with riding and training ended. But I had to stop riding and it got worse. And I was just like, oh my goodness, what have I done? This just doesn't fit the picture. This doesn't fit the plan. I don't know what's up. And it set me on another journey, which probably started, that was probably about, well, the journey started a while ago. The big rest was about 2.5 years ago. Anyway, that's not that important. But it set me on this journey to try and learn more about, you know, health and mobility, to try and fix my back issue. And at the time I was quite, and I still am, but I was quite involved and quite heavily indoctrinated into the CrossFit scene. And for the positives and negatives of CrossFit, and it's got some great stuff about it, it's got some stuff I'm less keen on. The bit that stands out for me the most, well, there's two bits that stand out. The community aspect of CrossFit's great, but I'm not talking about that. The other bit that stands out for me is the open source nature of CrossFit. So you've got CrossFit Inc. and you've got all the affiliate gyms, and then around that you've just got this bigger, wider community of people offering great information, good quality content, sharing knowledge, growing information, growing as individuals, growing as a community through this open source online organism, I suppose. And I stumbled across a site called Mobility WOD that posted free, high quality videos with physiotherapy information. And it gave me the key to get in and start to understand how the human body works. And it gave me that first inkling that there might be a way to solve this back issue. It got me in the door, and then with the help of some other professionals and osteo, keeping on following and researching, I was able to get in there and eventually cure this back problem. And then not so long ago, I was sitting down thinking about the first problem, which is graduates, and how I reckon it'd be great if everyone had an opportunity to be exposed to the best ideas. And I was thinking about Mobility WOD, whose motto is every human being should have the right to do basic maintenance on themselves. And I went, these two fit together. Why can't we take this water-sensitive urban design concept, fairly blatantly rip off the Mobility WOD model of free online videos, which, let's be honest, they didn't invent themselves, right? They picked it up from others and built on it in the same way I'm picking up that general gist and building on it here. But I thought to myself, why can't we put these two together? Why can't we produce really good content with high quality, good ideas in a water-sensitive urban design space and share that for free? Have great discussions, share great ideas, so that everyone, whether you're a new graduate, who frankly you can tell I'm really passionate about supporting, or whether you've been in the industry for 30 years, right, to give you access to those ideas that you might not otherwise have got access to, or you might have got access once a year when you go to a conference and you got those 2 or 3 really inspiring days, and then you go home and you go back to your work. What if we can give people access to this every day, all the time? You can tune in at the time that suits you, right? I used to watch Mobility WOD videos while I was cooking dinner. So I'd set up the laptop on the bench, I'd be cooking dinner, laptop's off to the side, click play on the video, I'm listening to it. When they mention something that requires a look, I'd quickly turn over, oh yeah, watch it for 20 seconds, come back to cooking dinner. It was great multitasking, it got me in the door, it helped me solve this back issue. And that's what Ideanthro is all about, right? It is this portal to share ideas with you through online video, broadly in this field of water-sensitive urban design in its biggest space. We'll talk a lot about stuff like bioretention and systems and that sort of thing, but my focus here is really the bigger picture, the higher goal of water-sensitive urban design. We've got to get the fine details right, yeah? So there's going to be really in my mind, two streams. You might not be able to differentiate this so well, but in my mind, the video stuff that we'll be putting out here is going to be in 2 streams. One of them is going to be about fine, detailed, good quality information. So that might be something as, how do you identify that plant in that bioretention system? Or where do you find, that plant that you see really regularly in the bioretention? Well, where does that grow in nature out here, right? For example, we plant Dianellas really regularly in bioretention systems. There's one just up there out of shot. So we've got 2 streams. So one of them is good quality, fine, detailed information. And then the other one's big picture ideas, discussions about what's next, discussions about the bigger picture. So it's kind of like the fine detail gets right what we're doing today, and the bigger picture stuff sets up the next big leap that might happen in 2 years or 5 years or 10 years. So look, as you can tell, I'm super passionate about this. You might be wondering though, why I've come out to film this intro video here. So this is Cedar Creek. This is a beautiful creek. I was trying to figure out, from my house it's an hour away, right? But from the center of Brisbane, it's probably 35 minutes or so. And it's this beautiful creek that people come to swim. So today it's a Thursday in school holidays. And I've actually had to wander miles up creek today to get a spot that has no one, or nearly no one. There's some people behind me, but that doesn't matter. To get a shot that has virtually no one in it, right? Because it's a swimming hole, right? We're respecting people's privacy here. But there were just so many people on the way up, and it's this great little asset. And I wanted to share that with you because that's one of the reasons, it's not the only one, right? But one of the reasons why I'm passionate about this water-sensitive urban design thing. Can you imagine if we had things like this closer to the city? And in Brisbane's case, a lot of our creeks would have been beautiful. Not necessarily big and rocky like this, but clear and beautiful. This is what they would have been like before settlement. And this is such a great asset that people drive miles and miles to get here. And can you imagine what it would be like if we had these sorts of assets closer to home? So I wanted to come out and show this spot to you because it's really special for me. I like hanging out here. I come out here on my bike to train, and yeah, it's amazing. I learn stuff about water sensitive urban design here because I find bioretention plants and all sorts of stuff. It's really cool. So look, that has been our introduction to this concept. Actually, there's one more thing I wanted to tell you. You thought we were finishing up. There's one more thing I suppose I wanted to show you here, is that this Ideanthro concept is all about sharing info, but we also go out there and do projects and stuff. So I've set myself up. So for the past few years, I've been really fortunate working at an organisation called Healthy Waterways in the Water by Design team. And we got to do great stuff, capacity building, sharing knowledge, working on policy and all this stuff. But I've had this yearning for a while to get back out there and practice in the real world and this sort of thing. That's the other thing that Ideanthro personally is giving me, but I hope it's also good for you, right? Because I've now got this opportunity to get back out and practice in a similar way to when I worked at council. And to get back out there and practice and build my own skills and build my own ideas so that I can then come and show these to you on these videos. But it also, you know, it's not just about me in the videos. We're going to have guests on board. We're going to get others in to share their ideas, because I truly believe that it's through discussion and it's through sharing that the best stuff happens, that we innovate, we create, and we make the world a better place. So look, thank you very much for tuning into this very first video of Ideanthro. I hope that's given you a feeling for what I want to do with this. And of course, it might evolve over time. What I've described now, it might not look like that in a year's time, but that's part of the journey, right? So, if you'd like to know more about what we do, there's a few things that you can do. You can find us online at ideanthro.com. We post all our episodes there. We let you know about what projects we've got going on. We have a mailing list. So if you go to ideanthro.com, scroll to the bottom of the front page, you can sign up for the mailing list there. And we just use that to send you a quick regular video, email, that's the word we want, a quick regular email when we release new videos. Equally, you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Ideanthro. You can like the page there, and we post our videos and little tidbits and updates. I'm sure I'll post a photo of this video shortly. And so you can like the page and you can keep up to date. And you can also find us on YouTube, where we upload all our videos. You can subscribe to the channel there, so you can keep up to date with those as soon as they go up. You can beat me to the mailing list sort of thing. And finally, I'll say this. So as we get into this, you'll see that we'll touch off on a bunch of different topics and a bunch of different discussions. But if there's something that you're curious about that we haven't covered, sweet, drop us a line, let us know. If we can answer it, we'll make a video about it, right? Because we love this conversation thing going on here. If we can't, we'll try and find someone who can answer it, or we'll find some people who can at least discuss it to get us closer to that answer. We'll bring them on, we'll film something, and we'll try and get something back to you. So look, that's it for now. Thank you for tuning in as I've told you this, or shared with you this story. I've loved it. I'm very pleased that I've got this off in one take. And yeah, until next time, we'll see you later, and enjoy the view of Cedar Creek.